Welcome back, everybody. We're back in the hot box today. I'm your host, Kelly Sparks, aka Redbeard. So, apparently I'm late to the game. Shows you how out of touch I've been since last year. I'd say May of 2022. So apparently, this has been going on for at least 2 years now, that Stagg is no longer Stagg Jr. I'm like, what the hell, man? Stagg Jr., that's like quintessential and iconic name. I'm not going to pour my whiskey into the glass just yet, because I'm going to read off, for those of you who don't know. This comes from Paste Magazine. Don't even know what that is. But I just looked up, it was the first article that popped up, so I'm going to read off a little bit for you, show you my reading skills. In a move that essentially acknowledges the fact that their product lineup has taken on a life of its own, Buffalo Trace announced today that it will be dropping the word Junior from its highly sought-after Stagg Junior brand, starting with batch 18. This is, which I love now, so used to, when I think it was still Stagg Junior, they wouldn't have the batch number on the freaking label. This one is batch, I think this is 22A. This is bottled at 132.2 proof. So maybe they're going to have, I guess this is probably, they're doing it just like the Elijah Craig. So 22A, they'll probably have a 22B, 22C, and then so on and so forth for the years. Untreated hearing loss can be isolating. Go fuck yourself. But anyway, where was I? Currently on batch 17, so this article was written November 12th of 2021, so I'm that late to the game. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Stagg Jr. was so named because it was more, well, I can't read. I've been drinking, guys, I'm sorry. Stagg Jr. was so named because it was essentially the less mature, more rambunctious version of the distillery's even more sought-after George T. Stagg bourbon, a member of its premium antique collection, all of which are released only once per year. George T. Stagg, also known as Papa Stagg and Stagg Sr. I've never once in my life fucking called it Papa Stagg. Maybe Stagg Sr., but definitely not Papa Stagg. Will in fact not be released in 2021 at all. So yeah, I remember that. After the distillery confirmed a few months ago that the long gestating 2021 batch simply did not live up to the company's high standards. Now I'm gonna sidetrack real quick. I completely agree with Buffalo Trace not releasing George T. Stagg because it did not fit their quality expectations. Completely agree with that. I did make a video on this, however, I do remember now. It's coming back to me, guys. I do remember talking about this. I'll have to find the video. If I can find the video, I'll put it up here in one of these areas. You'll see a link to it if I can find it, where I talked about it then, and you can go back. And I may or may not have the same opinion now. So times change, thoughts change, whatever. But anyway, I don't disagree with them not having a release, but you could also release something else instead of. And they might have. I didn't fucking look into it that hard. So anyway, in other words, the Stagg Jr. name was simply a tongue-in-cheek way for the distillery to acknowledge that bottles of Stagg Jr. were merely 8 to 9 years old, rather than the extra mature 15 to 19 years that is common with George T. Stagg. Notably, Stagg Jr. is still presented at Buffalo Trace particularly high barrel proof, which has meant strengths that usually fall around 65% ABV. As originally designed, Stagg Jr. was also clearly meant as a way for Buffalo Trace to offer its consumers a very high value bottle with MSRP, OSMR, MSRP, MR. Oh, fuck. Somebody riding a bicycle. Bonnie's gonna get him. Attack Bonnie. There's a car going by. I thought somebody was on a bicycle. She saw it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But anyway, As originally designed, Stagg Jr. was also clearly meant as a way for Buffalo Trace to offer its consumers a very high-value bottle with MSRP set between $50 to $60. It was a well-aged barrel-proof expression on paper that makes Stagg Jr. a wonderful value. It really does. And a worthy competitor to brands such as Heaven Hill's Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, trading a bit of maturation time for an even more friendly price point. And that's fucking all well and good. But then, dickheads. In practice, however, Stagg Jr. mania flared to life in the last half decade, following the mania for all Buffalo Trace products as bourbon and neophytes flocked to the brand, and hype quickly built to a critical mass. I've taken advantage of that hype and critical mass. Just saying. Just as the W.L. Weller line of formerly accessible, value-priced, wheated bourbons became next to impossible to find after being labeled by bourbon pros as poor man's pappy, Stagg Jr. was quickly seen as the next best thing to more expensive Buffalo Trace bourbons. And secondary market pricing turned a $50 to $60 bottle into a $250 to $300 one, which is bullshit. Package stores, sensing an opportunity to greatly inflate their profit margins, then started charging nearly as much as secondary prices for Stagg Jr., which is also bullshit. In a phenomenon of package store price gouging we've covered in depth, today the brand is rarely seen in the wild, and any bottles available for MSRP are typically snapped up by traders, either flip for other expensive bourbons, or sell it for themselves as a 400% markup. Or they have the third option, dickheads who do reviews on YouTube, who also like to drink whiskey. I am such dickhead. So, I'm going to quit reading, because I don't care to read anymore. And I've been drinking. As you can see, I'm still sweaty. Still wearing the same shirt from the last 3 videos. Sweat marks and all. I'm hot. I just took a shower too, which sucks. Oh man. You know, I'm glad I saved this one for last, because I had the 2 beers, and then I did the Balcones, and now I'm doing the, what are we drinking again? Stagg. And it just smells fucking wonderful. It's very candied, caramely, brown toffee. Is that a thing? Definitely toffee. Bonnie, why are you over there sitting there panting hard? Looking at me with your broke ass ear. It really does smell good. If you can find it at MSRP or slightly above, I would go. I think I got this one. Where'd I get this one? Where did I buy this one? I think I got it at Harley's. Where did I get this bottle? I don't remember where I bought it. Oh yeah, I got called for the weekly lottery at one of the Harley's liquor stores, which is a Goody Goody affiliate, or it's owned by Goody Goody. And they had 2 of these left. They had quite a few Weller Full Proof and quite a bit of Antique Weller. So I opted for one of these because I hadn't had it in a while. And I'm a bigger fan of the Buffalo Trace Mash Bill number 1 versus, I mean, I'm a big fan of their Bashville number 2 as well. Like if I get me an Elmer T. Lee, here's these fucking dogs again. Fucking give me another stick. All my small sticks are gone. Bang! Better! Shut up. Sun's going down. But anyway. Yeah, I definitely do not recommend, if you're not used to high proof alcohol, this one, I barely fucking read it. 132.2, I already said that, I forgot I did. I definitely don't recommend sipping this whiskey at full strength if you are not used to it. But if you can get to that point, it might take you a little while. Or you can just fucking dive into it balls first. because I don't like to chill it for flavor, but I definitely it's too hot to nose. I didn't finish my sentence, but sun's going down, big guy. Sun's going down. It's so good. So if this is the first batch from 2022 and it's A22A, I would imagine that they bottled it in January. It has very similar characteristics. It's not the same flavor profile, but as far as the characteristics go that I've experienced from the first batch from Elijah Craig, very sharp and astringent, and I would almost assume if they're going to do 3 batches a year that the last batch, I feel like the best whiskey that you're going to get from Kentucky is going to be bottled in the fall, late summer, not because they're usually what is Elijah Craig is 9C9 whatever. So it's the third batch bottled in September. So it's still hot as fuck in September in Texas, as you can see. I'm perspiring heavily. Even got my beard all tailed up. But in Kentucky, much more moderate climate. So if the expressions that I've experienced from Elijah Craig tell me anything about how the rest of the whiskey reacts in Kentucky, the best barrel or the best time to dump a barrel in the state of Kentucky would be in the fall, before it gets too cold, right when the temperature starts to break after summer. It starts to cool off. The barrels are probably around 70 to 80 degrees, not 100 plus degrees. I think that's probably the best time to get a barrel of whiskey in Kentucky. September or October. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. I burned my nose hairs again. Don't get too close, but that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant, guys. Thanks for coming back. Anyway, like always, drink some whiskey, share it with your friends and family, be safe, don't drink and drive, take care, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.